Irish Guy, and here's a question. What do you think of weasels? To me, they look a bit like if you stretched a rat, or if you gave Mickey Mouse steroids and access to a gym. Some people might think they're cute, but to me, they look like someone who'd probably chew a hole in your leg while you slept. And guess what, lads? Anthony Gordon is a weasel. It's not often we get to see a homegrown, budding, young superstar absolutely self-implode his own reputation and image. Lads, Gordon should be on his way as being a one-club Everton superstar. I mean, this kid should be a grubby man of the people, Everton's own Paddy the Baddie. But instead, because of what he's doing, oh, well done, Tony. For the next 20 years, your mum is gonna have to dodge people chucking chicken burgers at her face in the street. Every time you come back to Merseyside for Christmas pudding or your sister's birthday, you're gonna have Scouse pensioners trying to puncture the wheels of your car. Anthony Gordon is a disgrace. I mean, right now I'm guessing the fella has got the ego of Britney Spears. We all should have known in the summer. The guy suddenly gets linked with a mega move to Chelsea, and then suddenly dyes his hair blonde, getting the superstar look. Yeah, he thought this would make him look like Justin Timberlake, more like Gunther of Friends. I mean, Riyad Mahrez did this one at Leicester City after he just won the league and was peacocking to get him a move to Man City.
Oh, maybe this will get them to notice me on Match of the Day.
But Gordon, he looks like if Miley Cyrus buttered her hair. Gordon wanted to get that move to Chelsea in the summer, which already shows that he's got the self-awareness of David Brent. I'm sorry, but Gordon, if Todd Bowley forced you to sign an 8-year contract and then toss you into that hole in the wall stuffed with failed Chelsea wingers, oh, it would be like agreeing to sign up for prison time. Honestly, an 8-year contract, he'd be so desperate about trying to leave, he'd probably get a tattoo of the training ground on his back. I promise you, Gordon would be about as relevant at Stamford Bridge as Callum Hudson-Odoi. I mean, lads, even the physios and lunch ladies at Chelsea have probably already forgotten his name, but now Gordon is demanding a move to Newcastle and has just missed training 3 days in a row. I almost feel bad for the guy. His head was turned by Chelsea. And yeah, I get it. I mean, it's like if I was 16 and was asked out by the most popular girl in school. Yeah, I mean, I would assume that, I guess I must be just Brad Pitt with acne. Oh no, then we go out for ice cream and she very quickly realizes that actually, he's got a face like a baked potato, has the brains of cottage milk, smells like Donald Duck's knob. I promise you, if Gordon had become a Chelsea player, those fans would have quickly discovered that he's about as much use as a paper aeroplane. He is not as good as he thinks. And by the way, if you think I'm being too harsh on myself, no. Watch. Hey, Mom, do you think I'm handsome?
No, you look like a foot.
Right, we're with Anthony Gordon, the best winger in the Premier League, in the world, I'd say.
Best in the world. Right, see this guy? He shouldn't be allowed to vote. I'm sorry, but Everton are in utter crisis. Joined bottom of the league, have zero manager in charge, and are having to interview men that were just sacked by Burnley and Leeds. This is a time where that club needs all hands on deck. Instead, you've got a skinny chunk of broccoli, someone with the upper body strength of a Toblerone. Honestly, does he not look like one of those extras of Breaking Bad? I mean, did his mother just not feed him chicken as a child? He looks like someone who probably just lives off Kit Kat crumbs and whatever's left in a lunchbox that he robs off a child. Anthony Gordon is massive English height, and him choosing to ditch his boyhood Everton dream after just 7 goals? Am I the only who just doesn't see what all the fuss is about? Honestly, he's just football's answer to Game of Thrones. This is a kid who was already knocking on Carlo Ancelotti's door and demanding to know why he wasn't in the team. Sorry, he'd just been on loan at Preston in the Championship. He scored 0, assisted 0 in 11 games, and he was then benched for the final 8 games of the season. And you're bothering asking a legend of the sport why you're not in his starting 11? It's like Steve Cooper asking Jennifer Lopez why she hasn't responded to his Twitter DMs. And probably because your face looks like the underside of a cauliflower pie. Sorry, that was mean. But I'm sorry, but if an Everton wonder kid could not get into a Preston team behind a nearly 40-year-old Scott Sinclair, then maybe, just maybe, he does have all the end product of a piss-soaked shoe. By the way, lads, don't forget to subscribe, but also, just a quick interruption to let you know this video is sponsored by Surfshark. I mean, I've told you about them 1,000 times, but just for those in the back, they're a VPN, virtual private network, that will keep your information safe. I mean, lads, you can change your location on Netflix. So yeah, you can watch American Netflix. Oh god, it's probably just Grey's Anatomy and Winnie the Pooh. But honestly, lads, you could be on a family holiday to, I don't know, the west end of China, and you can still watch Match of the Day. Yeah, have fun watching Danny Murphy on the hills of Beijing. Guess it'd be like a bald comfort blanket. You can use Surfshark across as many devices as you like, and it's got loads of features. One of them which is Alert, which will notify you when your personal information is being leaked online. So no longer will that weird grandmother next door be snooping through your bank details. Surfshark are giving everyone who watches this video 83% off plus 3 months free when you use the code irishguy10. Honestly, lads, go now!
Anthony Gordon, Stop being a brat.
Listen, I respect Everton. They are an historically incredible football club who've been messed around for years. I mean, people talk about Manchester United collapsing ever since Sir Alex Ferguson left in 2013. Ironically, Everton have not been the same since David Moyes left that very same month. I mean, he was the last coach at Goodison Park who did not fail. And I know, before he mentioned Ancelotti, lads, he finished 10th and signed Josh King. For that infraction alone, the Everton board should probably have cut off his thumb, but Everton are in their hour of need. And yet you've got this human cheese string downing tools to force a move to Newcastle. Gordon is part of the reason Everton are in this mess. Why that club did not accept a £45 million bid from Chelsea, it makes no earthly sense. To me, he's just another Adam Johnson, overpriced, overrated English winger who, back in his early 20s, was about as clinical as a diabetic hamster. And yet both Manchester clubs wanted to buy him. He's given a training ground tour at Manchester United. I mean, he'd just been relegated with Middlesbrough. He was about as talented as about a chicken nugget soaked in baby sick. Gordon is the modern day Johnson. Although, for the love of God, let's pray his Tinder age radius is no lower than 21. But lads, this is what Gordon said in March.
I am not a loser, I am a winner, so it is hard for me to take it as a positive.
I am a winner. He has started in 11 Premier League wins in his life. 11. And yet he's talking like Michael Jordan in the flesh. Gordon, this absolutely stinks. This is a guy who's been nurtured by Everton coaches, coming through the ranks after he joined them in 2012, after he was tossed away like a bag of stale cauliflower at Liverpool. This is a kid who's been moulded, crafted into a Premier League footballer. I mean, okay, yeah, to be fair, you would think that the Everton dietitians would have fed him a bit more. I mean, he does look a bit like a Ginger Oliver Twist who grew up eating nothing but newspaper and Cheerios. This guy looks like an anorexic Ron Weasley, but still, where's the respect that you're showing the club? You know how easy it would have been for Everton to just bin you off after your failed Preston loan 2 years ago, and now you're actively forcing a move to Newcastle? I get players have to move on for the sake of their careers, but lads, Wayne Rooney was a Scouse boyhood hero. But I mean, he quit Everton in the summer of 2004 after he'd helped keep them up. I promise you, if Rooney had just quit the club in January to focus on Euro 2004, Everton would have been relegated and David Moyes would have lost his job. I mean, weirdly, Newcastle also wanted to buy Rooney back then, but I think that move would have been about as clever for his career as, I don't know, setting fire to his feet. But I mean, Rooney could have joined Chelsea that month. But no, he stayed until the summer. Even Wayne Rooney, the man who seemingly has treated his wife like a muddy doormat, even he has shown more loyalty than Gordon. I mean, Gordon, this is just some average vanilla muffin who, honestly, would kill to have the career of Ashley Young. I mean, he's a kid with less of a goal threat than Damari Gray. I mean, imagine if he winds up at St. James's Park. He'll be taking Ryan Fraser's place in the squad, someone who already showed that he has all the morals of a pig when he down tools during Bournemouth's relegation scrap 2 years ago. Again, like Bournemouth, he wanted a monster move after being linked with Arsenal and Liverpool. Instead, he had to settle for a hug off Steve Bruce. Oh god, I bet his armpits smell like sausage rolls. I really feel bad for Everton fans. You are desperately trying to steady the ship, and you've got this ungrateful little onion dramatically lowering his transfer price, because if you don't sell him now, you have got a spoiled little cabbage rotting away whatever morale is left in your squad. How do you think his teammates feel when one of their supposed key players just refuses to train? They are out in the freezing cold doing training drills on a cold Thursday morning while he's still in his pajamas watching SpongeBob SquarePants and eating cake with a spoon. I mean, Gordon has already watched Everton get slapped in the face by Tottenham, choosing to steal Arnaud Danjuma from underneath their nose. I mean, right now, they're desperately targeting Hakim Ziyech. Yeah, can anyone really see an African superstar like Ziyech agreeing to play for Sean Dyche? I mean, he already tried to sign him for Burnley 7 years ago. Yeah, I think Ziyech would probably sooner have let a pigeon bite off his nose. Okay, maybe Gordon is blown away by the exciting Newcastle project and has always loved Eddie Howe. Is that why at St. James's Park last season he looked at Kieran Trippier as if this was a mini scrap outside Nando's at 4 a.m? As Gordon was asked 3 months ago who he thought would finish in the top 6. Okay then.
Who's gonna come top 6?
Man City, Arsenal, Chelsea, Spurs,
Say it.
Liverpool, Everton.
I didn't hear Newcastle in there anywhere. I mean, he doesn't even look good in a Newcastle shirt. Yes, I realise he's recently at Scouse Goblins screaming at him through his car window in the street, all of them chanting,
You're not fit to wear the shirt!
You're not fit to wear the shit! You're not fit to wear the shit!
honestly, it's like the Scouse remake of Shaun of the Dead. But I'm sorry, don't let a couple of mindless potatoes drive you out of the club. Your duty is to help Everton out of this mess. Don't just jump ship like a hyperactive rat. And as for Newcastle, I mean, who am I to question Eddie Howe's transfer policy, considering he's yet to miss for the club? But 40 to 50 million for Gordon. Some reports saying 60 million. No! It's just English overpriced tax. 50 million would make him as expensive as Zidane. I mean, that would make him the joint 8th most expensive English footballer of all time and the 3rd most expensive English winger of all time, after Grealish and Sancho. I'm sorry, but it makes my brain hurt. I remember when Real Madrid paid £60 million for James Rodriguez after he won the World Cup Golden Boot and go to the tournament, literally on the world's biggest stage. I mean, Man City paid this sort of money for De Bruyne. And yet now, 60 million in football just seems to get you a dodgy Brighton left back or a skinny winger with 7 career goals. I mean, just think for 1 minute. If Gordon had come through the Chelsea academy, does anybody think he would be in the team? Honestly, I'm pretty sure if the roles were reversed and Hudson-Odoi had come through at Everton, then Gordon would be the one out on loan at Vitesse Arnhem, while Chelsea would be bidding 50 million for Hudson-Odoi. Gordon would have absolutely no chance of making it at Chelsea. 0. And even for Newcastle, this would be a club record fee for someone who keeps shooting over the bar. I mean, it's not like he's even a child. Turns 22 next month. He is older than Bukayo Saka. He's a quarter of the way through his career. What is this?
It's understood that Anthony Gordon has not had a transfer request.
No, it's even worse. He's just skipping work. If players don't hand in a transfer request, aren't they entitled to a loyalty bonus? I mean, it's like actively choosing to not ask your wife for a divorce. But instead, you decided to go and randomly live in a hotel for a month. Gordon is probably sitting now on his couch, playing Crash Bandicoot and tucking into a pie. How unprofessional can you be?
Oh, but I need to do this for my career.
If Everton do go down, sure, it'll be sad and an inconvenience. But tell me, Anthony, what is so appalling about being their best player in the championship? Does he really think it'll hamper his England chances? What England chances? It's like me saying that if I tattoo my dog's nose onto my forehead, that it will hamper my modelling career. I'm sorry, I look like the back of Shrek's knee. I would have more respect for Gordon if he helped out his boyhood club in the championship next year. I mean, I'm sorry, the likes of Gianluigi Buffon, Pavel Nedved, Alessandro Del Piero, David Trezeguet, giant world stars. They weren't too proud to help Juventus out in Serie B. Even Mark Noble stuck around for West Ham in the championship because he cares for the club. Gordon in the championship for Everton, he would be a star. And let's be honest, he's got something to prove in that league after he was a Preston North End flop. He would be a Scouse hero. If they go down, it would be the making of him. Get Wayne Rooney back as a coach, I guess. Build the team around Gordon. Why not? Honestly, Gordon, if this is true, and if this is how you're treating the club who made you, then I'm telling you, this whole saga absolutely stinks. Proper stinks. Like a penguin's armpit. I mean, that's what do you let me know in the comments. What do you make of this whole Anthony Gordon thing? Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, as always. I'll talk to you in a while.